Yeah.
And I understand that King of the Nerds came out of Revenge of the Nerds.
Well, it did sort of. Bobby Carradine and I have been friends for years, and I think it just came out of like a conversation at dinner or something. We were talking about how we both have kids going into college, and it would be nice to have an extra income stream, you know. We just came up. Bobby, I think, said what we should do is develop a nerd reality show, and that was how the idea happened. But then we went out and we didn't get a lot of response to it at the time. But then a couple of years later, we went out again and we met with 5x5 Media, which is where we are now, and they got us instantly. And then they went to TBS and they got us instantly. So we wound up landing in the perfect spot.
Absolutely. And do you think that King of the Nerds is as successful as it is right now?
I was only hoping. I mean, it's, you know, unfortunately you can't predict stuff. And I really had no idea, but I was hoping it was going to go. And I think what's happened with us is that now we're in season 3, and I think we're at a level now in season 3 that is even above 2 and 1. So we're progressing. I think the show's comedy is connecting really well. The nerds this year are unbelievable. Fabulous nerds. Everyone. Everything's going really well.
So I have a question for you that's kind of personal.
Yeah.
Do you think yourself as a nerd?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was a total book nerd when I was a kid. I dabbled in comics, but I wasn't a serious comic guy. And, you know, it was just, I was one of those guys who sat in his room reading a lot. And in the 60s, that qualifies as a nerd.
It still qualifies as a nerd today.
Yeah, I think probably.
Yeah, my husband is a very huge nerd.
Yeah.
And I've been a nerd since basically I was about 6 years. And I'm just wondering, how do you think this builds with the confidence and everything else that and nerdism people or something? And I mean, when I was starting out being the geek back in 1984 and attending the 1984 science fiction for the first time ever, it was still kind of like in the thought, wasn't really popular. Now it's with Marvel being mainstream, it's become really popular. How do you think it compares between when you were Revenge of the Nerds and now?
Well, there was really no community of nerds even in 1984. I mean, it was beginning to happen. You had Comic-Cons at that point, and you had Star Trek conventions and those sorts of things. So it was happening. But, you know, what it was waiting for was technology to catch up with passion. So that nerds who are intensely involved and invested in their interests, if it's cosplay, comic books, you know, whatever, science fiction, horror movies, whatever. What was missing in 1984 was the technology like cable and video that would allow people to share these things more deeply. And that's what started happening right around that time. When that happened and then the internet happened, that allowed all of these hard-won people with similar interests and passions to get together. And that was the beginning of everything. I mean, honestly, I don't think that Revenge of the Nerds and movies like that would be remembered at all today if it weren't for the technology of cable and video.
Oh, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
I think nerdy movies is the first favorite thing in the whole wide world. Right? Star Wars or whatever.
Well, I mean, you know, if it gets down to the sort of, you know, Star Trek, Star Wars question, I fall on Star Trek